Hello my friends, welcome to my channel. My name's Polly. So today we're going to be talking about how to raise your frequency and increase your vibration. So before we get going, please like and subscribe to the channel. This will allow me to grow my audience, get better collabs, better guest speakers, and provide you with more value. So let's get going on the topic of today's video, which is, like I say, raising your frequency and increasing your vibration. So frequency, vibration, these are words that get thrown around the spiritual industry like a game of ping pong, right? But what do they really mean, and how can we sort of remove the fluff and come back to a more centered approach to what these words mean and how we can start to work with them, how we can start to raise our frequency, increase our vibration so that we can connect to a deeper sense of life in general, okay? And feel good about ourselves and the world around us. So I want to bust a couple of myths around what these words actually mean before we get started. Now, you might have heard people talking about high vibrational and low vibrational frequency. Right? In a sense, these are true statements. There is such thing as a high vibration, a high frequency, and there is such thing as a low vibration, a low frequency. But what we get very misunderstood when we're talking about these things is we often start to pinpoint or places, etc., as having low vibrations, right? And this person has got a low vibration and I have got a high vibration, and I won't talk to that person because they're bringing me into a lower vibration, whereas I have high vibration because I do X, Y, and Z, and this person does X, Y, and Z that's low vibrational, right? This is a very judgmental and egoic way in which to talk about and understand what high vibrational, low vibrational frequency is. And it starts to put our experience of life into a hierarchy of this person up here is very good and high vibrational, and this person down here is very bad and low vibrational. And this is a really misunderstood and unkind, very judgmental approach to what it really means. In fact, it's so far away from what a high vibration and a high frequency actually means that it's just going down the complete wrong avenue altogether. So let's talk about what a high vibration is, how we can start to connect to that higher frequency inside of ourselves, and why it's not to do with judging other people. So a high vibration, an increased frequency, right, when we're radiating this beautiful sort of positive energy, if you like, is very much connected to, I'm going to simplify this, it's connected to the heart, it's connected to unconditional love. Okay, this is the highest vibration of all, is unconditional love. Now, when we going into the mindset of this person is of a high vibration and this person is of a low vibration, this person does high vibrational things, this person does low vibrational things, we are not coming from the high vibrational frequency, which is of unconditional love. Instead, we're coming from a conditional space, okay? We're coming from a space of judgment, conditional love, and hierarchy, which is very much defined by the ego, right? It's defined by the mind. So when we might think we're in a high frequency because we're doing all the high vibrational things like exercise and eating a healthy diet and spending time in nature and, doing yoga and all of these things that we sort of like deem as being high vibrational, yet we are judging another person for being low vibrational. This is completely void of what a high vibration actually is, because it's not coming from an unconditional loving space. It's coming from a judgmental space, and it's coming from a space of perception, which is very much to do with our mind. So really we're still attached to our thoughts. We're really still attached to our emotions in the sense that we are judging another for not quite being the great queen that we are, right? So that's what one myth I really want to break down before we start to talk about high vibrational frequency, okay? High vibrational frequency is not, I am good and you are bad. I do good things and you do bad things. Right, this is the ego talking. It's not coming from unconditional love. So unconditional love is basically the frequency or the vibratory frequency that is extremely high. It is the most high vibration of all, okay? So that's what we're talking about when we're coming back to talking about how can we raise our vibration? How can we raise our frequency? It's about how can we connect to a deeper sense of unconditional love, right? For ourselves, for the world around us, for the next door neighbor, for somebody who we might feel challenged to send unconditional love towards, etc. Okay, because unconditional love really means without conditions. So unconditional love is not a vibration that says, I love you, you, and you, but not you, because that's conditional love, right? That's saying there's conditions to this love, to this frequency, to this vibration that I have. Okay, you can have it because you're a good neighbor. You can have it because you're a good dog. You can have it because you're a good family member, right? But you, the self, you can't have it because you're not good enough. Okay, this is conditional love. And this is a space that would keep us in this lower vibratory frequency. Not that you're bad for being in that space, of course not. Nobody's bad. We're all just humans and trying to move through life to the best of our ability, right? And it's extremely challenging to come from that high vibrational frequency of unconditional love all the time. There's a lot to be angry for. There's a lot of things that need forgiving. There's a lot of things that have upset us and hurt us and brought insecurity and doubt and trauma into our life, coming inwards, and that we also reflect outwards. So there's a lot going on that takes us away from that high vibratory frequency of unconditional love, right? So I'm not going to sit here and say that this is an easy thing to do and that it is something that we can just almost switch on like a light bulb, because it's not true. It's simply not true. But I can give some tips and some tools as to how you can move through your day, connecting back to a deeper sense of unconditional love, the highest vibration that there is, so that you can start to feel good about yourself, give that goodness back out, etc. Okay, so moving on from that, hopefully you've got a little understanding of what working in a high vibration is, okay? It's not judging somebody, because that's conditional, right? It's loving somebody unconditionally and allowing the radiation of unconditional love to release the judgment of what we think is low or high actions or low or high words or low or high personality traits or low or high ways of somebody else living. It's not within our judgment to be able to push that perception onto somebody else. Higher vibration is to come back into our unconditional loving stance and to release that judgment. Okay, so that's really a huge myth, that we can go around life reflecting our own perception of life and our own perception of what a high and a low vibration is and judging another. That's not true, and it's a really encouraging way to talk about vibrational frequency, right? Because it makes us feel like we are doing wrong all the time if we are doing certain acts that are coming from that space, okay? So remembering to come back to the highest frequency, which is very non-judgmental. It's unconditional, it's kind, and it's more of an observer space. That moves me on to the next point. A high vibratory frequency, and one of the ways in which we can start to manifest that and bring that to light in our daily life is about watching and commanding the thoughts that we are having. Okay, it really starts there. So let me give you an example. Let's say our thinking mind, which is a very fruitful mind, the chimp that goes on chattering away all day long in the head, right? When we start to go down the path of the negative thought path, if you like, and we attach ourselves to all of these negative thoughts, we start to go down the path that is of a more lower vibratory frequency. This does not mean we are a bad person. Can we just erase bad and good people out of this? Okay, because it's really a myth in the spiritual industry that that's even the case. But it does go on and people do talk about it, unfortunately. So when we are following that rabbit hole of a negative thought, negative thoughts, a spiraling, continuous, incessant pattern of negative thoughts, when we attach ourselves to those things and we start to form our day around the negative thoughts that we are thinking that then turn into emotions and we are feeling, when we attach ourselves to those things, we are attaching ourselves to a lower vibratory frequency because we are starting to act according to these thoughts, filtering into emotions that we are having, okay? And if we then start to go on the other end of the spectrum, so we start to, look at some of these positive thoughts and follow through with some of the more positive vibrations that we're experiencing. And we start to not attach, because the whole point of this is the non-attachment, which I'll talk to in a moment. But as we start to focus on, bring our awareness, bring our energy towards these positive thought patterns, these higher vibrations, then we start to lean more towards a higher vibratory frequency. And I want to give you an example of what I mean by this. Okay, so if we are to be going around our day, let's say day-to-day living, we're waking up and we're having the negative thoughts. Sure, we're having the positive thoughts. Fine. We don't want to resist these things. We're only human. We're not here to resist, but we are here to understand how to observe and watch. If we find ourselves unable to observe and watch our maybe negative and positive thoughts, and instead we just get very attached to the negative thoughts, what we're doing is we are feeding, because where attention goes, energy flows, we are feeding our lower vibratory frequency. Okay, so we might be waking up in a day and we're having all these negative thoughts. They're thoughts that are anxious, they're thoughts that are depressive, they're thoughts that are complaining, they're thoughts that nothing's going to go right today, they're thoughts that I'm not good enough, they're thoughts that how am I going to be able to do this because I'm not clever enough, I'm not strong enough. You know how it goes in a human mind, right? These are all valid things to think and feel, of course, right? I'm not saying they're not valid, and I'm not saying they don't feel so real. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if we continuously attach ourselves to those spaces, that is the life that we will start to live. And as we attach ourselves to those spaces that are more negative in its thought pattern and in its emotion, this will cloud the heart space. This will cloud unconditional love, okay, which is the highest vibration of all. Because love frequency, when that grows strong and radiates outwards, it's very, very hard to attach all of these sort of negative frequencies to it, because the love is such a huge vibrational frequency. Like I say, it's the strongest frequency, it's the highest frequency. So as we start to work with, observe the thoughts, the negative mind, the negative thoughts, the positive thoughts, take a little step back, grab a bag of popcorn, watch it like a play. And what we do is we allow ourselves some space between the observer's standpoint, our inner self, if you like, the dwelling person, beneath the body, beneath the mind, beneath the emotions, the consciousness, the awareness. As we start to come to that space, we can watch our thoughts like watching a play, and then we can choose. Then we can go. So I could go down the thought pattern of, today is not going to be good enough. I'm worried about it. I'm going to worry about everything that comes up. I don't feel good about myself. I don't think I'm going to be able to do my exercise or push my business forward or go to work today and show up and, be my best. I don't think I'm going to be able to do these things because I'm not good enough, and I'm worried about that, and it's making me anxious, and I'm overthinking it. And all these things that come up, when we take that step back and we become the observer of that chatter, we take ourselves instantly into an aware space. I'm going to call it the neutral mind, which is something in Kundalini yoga. I'm a Kundalini yoga teacher, so a lot of this is Kundalini yoga teachings. The neutral mind is the space of non-judgment, very similar to the heart space, the unconditional loving heart space. When we come into this center, when we come into this space, we have the choice to go, right, do I want to attach myself to these negative thought patterns today and these negative emotions, or can I take a more positive spin? Can I put some flowers in my house and think, oh wow, these are beautiful colours, these are bringing me joy, how lovely, this is something that I like, and see something and think, this is beautiful, looking into nature and go, wow, doesn't nature look beautiful today? I'm really looking forward to spending some time in it. And maybe looking in the mirror and going, God made me, I'm alive, how amazing, I'm grateful. Yeah, I'm looking glowing today, great. Just bring in some positive thoughts, because we all have them. We all have the negative thoughts, we all have the positive thoughts, and we have a choice to attach ourselves to that vibration on the negative end and attach ourselves to that vibration on the positive end. But we don't have the choice unless we take a step back and observe. So when we're talking about raising our vibratory frequency, we're really talking about choosing to think more positively, okay? This is not saying that the negative thoughts are invalid and that we should resist them and push them away, because this, in a sense, suppresses everything. It suppresses emotions. It makes us think, I can't think a negative thought, therefore I can't feel a negative emotion. I only will have positive emotions. And that's simply not true. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, it's both thoughts, negative and positive, are just as valid, but they're just thoughts. They're little clouds moving past all day long, continuously, right? It's our job not to attach ourselves to those thoughts and not to put a hierarchy on those thoughts, like these are positive thoughts, they're good. These are negative thoughts, they're bad. Just seeing them as thoughts and coming back to this neutral space, this sense of unconditional love towards the day, towards ourselves, towards others, and find that centeredness to watch the thoughts and notice which thoughts, which emotions drive you forward, make you feel joyful, make you feel happy, make you feel productive in a good way, make you feel like you are grateful, make you feel like excited for life and passionate about life, and that make you want to do things for others and do things that are great and positive for yourself, right? That's not you getting attached to the positive thought. That's you choosing a way to be. That's you choosing your vibration. Okay, so now we know what a raising your frequency is. It's about coming back to unconditional loving energy. It's not about judgment. It's not about judging ourselves. It's not about judging others. It's about coming back to unconditional love and observing, taking the observer's standpoint so that our thoughts do not become attachments, and instead we become the watchman, and our emotions don't become attachments. Instead, we become the watchman or the watch lady, whatever you would like to call yourself, okay? Essentially, you're becoming the observer, okay? You're observing what's going on. Am I getting attached to these thoughts? Yes, I am. How can I take a step back and shift my consciousness, shift my day to something that's going to be more positive to my vibratory frequency? How do I want to feel? And how can I change that? And that's a really important standpoint to come to when we're thinking about raising our frequency, right? For the last part of this video, I want to talk about things that can help you raise your vibratory frequency in your day. Okay, it's fine talking about unconditional loving energy being the highest vibration. It's fine talking about becoming the observer of thoughts and emotions without resisting them. You know, we need to feel them. We need to feel anger in a healthy way. Sure, we need to feel sadness in a healthy way. Sure, just as much as we need to feel happiness and laugh, right? This is one of the highest vibrational frequencies there is laughing. It's an absolute expression of unconditional love in a way. So all of the emotions and all of the feelings are very valid, and it's really important that we do feel them. But there's also a space where we need to observe the fact that we are not making an identity out of those things. Because when we make an identity and an attachment out of our negative thoughts and our negative feelings, they will then run our day, because they're ours, our negative thoughts and our negative feelings, and we've attached ourselves to them. And this is where it goes wrong, because once we've attached ourselves to the thoughts, we think we are the thoughts, we think we are the emotions, and therefore they run our day. And that's what lowers our frequency. When we know we're not our thoughts and we're not our emotions, and instead we're just unconditional loving energy, source energy, we know that we can have the ability to watch, feel, change, shift, and completely flip the day on its head if needed. Okay, so how can we do this? I'm just going to go through 5 of my absolute favorite ways to raise your frequency in your day so you can come back to the heart space, right, and observe the thoughts. The first one is conscious movement. This is so important because if we're spending a lot of time in the head, we're getting very attached to what the head is saying. Conscious movement, meaning becoming very aware of the movement that you're doing, Tai Chi, yoga, even going on a run or a walk very consciously, bringing the breath and the movement and the mind into that motion is a really, really powerful way to become the observer of the thought, okay? And bring our energy back into the body instead of it just being all very, very sort of overthinking in the head area, okay? So first thing, conscious movement. It doesn't even matter if it's 5 minutes to sort of switch your state. It doesn't matter if it's longer. Conscious movement, that's my first and foremost thing. Meditation is the second thing. Now, it's harder to meditate if you haven't done some movement, because when we do the movement, naturally we increase that vibratory frequency inside of ourselves, and that vibratory frequency allows us to sit in stillness for longer. Okay, so I personally prefer to do the conscious movement first, then go into meditation. Meditation allows us to sit with ourselves, our inner self, right? Not the thoughts, not the emotions, not this physical meat suit, the inner self, the awareness, right? And just every time we start to practice meditation, it will become more and more and more easier to connect to that space in the inner body. The third thing is music. Music is high vibrational frequency in a play button, if you like. Okay, making music, listening to music, hearing sounds, speaking sounds, mantra. This is why sound healing is a thing, right? Because it's a vibratory frequency that starts to move through every cell, tissue, organ, energy field, chakra. It is a powerful healing source, is music. You want to release a negative emotion like that, you put some high vibrational music on. That's something that sets your soul on fire. It's different for everybody, right? Put some high vibrational music on and dance. Not quite like this, but dance, right? And if you need to feel an emotion through that dancing, feel the anger and express it in a healthy way. Same with crying, same with laughing, or just dance. Music is a very, very strong healing force. The fourth thing is nature. Mother Nature is the highest vibrational frequency that there is, because it's working from unconditional love, because nature is without resistance. We have a lot of resistance as humans, right? We go, this is a bad thing, I shouldn't do it. This is a good thing, I should do it. We're always very, very conflicted, whereas nature just grows and moves and adapts with time and space and conditions and seasons, and it's just source energy, right? So going into nature. And finally, water. Water is a really high conductor of energy. It's almost at source energy frequency because it's such a powerful energy conductor. This is why when we have a shower or we bath or people baptize, or you go in the ocean, or spiritual communities when we do these sort of like energy cleansing baths and stuff like that, because it purifies your energy field, it cleanses you, because it is of this really high vibrational frequency. So they're my five main tips. But most of all, we're coming away from judgment of ourselves, judgment of others, and coming back to unconditional love and developing a neutral mind space. Okay, my loves, that is it from me today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for tuning in. Lots of love. Bye. Hi guys, thanks for watching that video with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe, it means the world to me. If you would like to watch any more videos, there's 2 here just for you.